Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. This first story is very Japan-centric, and we learned on the 27th that there is a capital alliance occurring between Theta and Ceres. Now, what does that mean? There is going to be a new service here in Japan for crypto, and the company Theta is going to provide virtual currency intermediary services. Yes, it goes way beyond just promoting virtual currency, and it goes way beyond just educating. It is going to be a service that is a full service for customers who want to buy virtual currency. Now, how does that work? Well, Theta gets in between the customer and the exchange. Now, I know you're going to say, I don't want anybody between me and the exchange. Well, because we have had a really bad year in terms of pricing, a lot of people have left the space. Now, prices are so low, I think there are people who are looking at getting in, but still so many people can't pull the trigger for many reasons. Education, they don't feel confident. They're not really good with computers, and basically the financial industry itself is a little scary. So I know if you're watching this, you're one of probably just 3 to 5% of the whole entire planet that is able to go through the know your customer process, actually make a purchase, then you need to get that purchase off the exchanges and onto a hardware wallet. I'm sorry, we have to face it. Not everybody can do it. As a matter of fact, I am going to guess that half of you out there have probably helped a friend or a family member in holding their hand through the process. So having a service like this is definitely going to revitalize the virtual currency space here in Japan. And that is what they say, and that is what they have identified as a need. And I think they're going to be very successful. So they're going to take orders from customers. They will then select an exchange, and that exchange selection will be based, of course, on the best choice for price, and then they will put that virtual currency into the customer's wallet. And in providing that full service, even for people who want to cost average in, the service will do that for you on a every day or every week or once a month basis. And I'm positive it's going to be successful. And should that information then be shared with the rest of the world, I think you're going to see this kind of full service virtual currency provider pop up all over the globe. Yeah, they even are thinking about getting into the services of funding. So the market has gone cold, they said in this article, and the locusts are gone. And they call people who rush into that price action as they did in 2017, they call that kind of investor a locust. And the locusts are gone. So this is going to be their attempt and their effort at revitalizing the space here in Japan. I think it's wonderful. We're going to see it launch in spring of 2019. All right, the former Mt. Gox CEO, Mark Carpelli, declares innocence in his final argument. Well, the prosecution is trying to get a 10-year sentence for what they call he's being charged for is embezzlement. So about $3 million somehow ended up, getting onto his personal account. And so we will see on March 15th of this next new year what the court rules. All right, I know this isn't news, but the Financial Service Agency, has reported there are 190 operators that are trying to enter Japan's crypto market, and 50 of them, I have also read, have actually submitted their plans. But why I really looked at this article is because I'm trying to figure out what the status is of Coinbase, because Coinbase is one of those 190 that are trying to come in to Japan. And in looking around to see if I could find something, I came across Laura Shin's podcast. She has a podcast called Unchained. She is somebody who used to write for Forbes, but about a year ago, she went off on her own, and she is now doing freelance work and also provides a podcast. She's not a lover of XRP. As a matter of fact, she did an interview recently and just gave the worst answer I've ever heard. And I think she's not keeping up on Ripple or XRP over the past year because she's just not a fan. And that's okay. But when you are somebody like a public figure that has a lot of people following, you at least need to speak accurately. And so I'll show you how I address that, because since I saw that interview, about a week ago, it has really been bothering me. But in this one, she interviewed Dan Romero. It was a very good interview. It's just about an hour long. You can skip through the sponsors advertisements in the middle, which, wow, I now understand how she monetizes this, because there was a lot of minutes of sponsorship. But Dan Romero talks about Japan, and I was interested in his comments. So they have been in talks with the regulators here for the past year, and they have a very small office with a small team here in Tokyo. And through that engagement, he's learned that Japan is really different. Japan was the first country to have a federal license, and as opposed to the United States, it's really regulated more on a state-by-state basis. And because the FSA is really guiding these exchanges with a focus on security, he says that is an area in which they shine. It's their sweet spot. So I would venture to guess that when we see a new expansion of exchanges come into Japan, I think Coinbase is going to be in that group, and they will just have to list XRP. I mean, you would just have to. And I couldn't help myself with Laura. I hope she takes it well, but I wrote her on Twitter today and said, "Hello, Laura, you don't have to love XRP." And she doesn't. It's okay. But as a crypto podcaster, you owe it to yourself, I wrote, to follow Hodor. And he does a blog. I think a lot of you know about Hodor's blog. If you don't, please discover it. And you should know that Hodor just wrote a new article. It came out on the 27th. It's very good, and it's always well researched, and I just love his writing. So I wanted to give him a shout out. And sticking to Twitter, there is a gentleman, I don't follow him, but one of his polls ended up in an article that I read today. This is his current portfolio. He's not an XRP guy, I think. He's not in the community per se. He has in his portfolio 21% in cash, 8% in bonds, 29% in stocks, 11% in real estate, financial instruments, and 31% in crypto. And I looked through some of his tweets, and he tweets about a lot of different projects out there. So that was important to me, because the article talks about a poll that he did, and here it is here. 2018 was brutal. Yes, it was. And 2019 will make all that hell worth it, as long as you accumulated the right coins and tokens. So which will we see the biggest returns from in 2019? And look at that, 74% of those 3,469 respondents said XRP. Now, the reason why I really paid attention to this is because he has 10,000 followers, and he's not surrounded by the XRP community. Therefore, the people out there in Twitterland come, I think, from all different projects in crypto, and still there was a 74% response that people feel so optimistic about the potential of XRP. And no doubt, when you read Hodor's blog, you'll see that 2018 was just really an amazing year, and the last quarter was fantastic. So I know that there is a lot of pent up energy in all of their successes that they have had as of late, and I think a lot of people are expecting big things of XRP in 2019. This is Uphold, and they tweeted, they said, "We see you, XRP community. The XRP recently surpassed Bitcoin as Uphold's largest digital asset in USD value." So that is really something. And Leonidas asked me today, along with a couple of other people in the space, if we could please include this in our video. And I thought, well, absolutely, for sure. There was a scam out there that looked very much, in fact, the people who did it spent an enormous amount of time to make it look like an official Ripple website. And it was one of these scammy giveaways for XRP. And yeah, I was going to just warn everybody, and I found, phew, this account has been suspended. So somebody got to the right people and got it shut down, because it was very misleading and it was difficult to see that it was a scam. So please, please, please be careful out there. Even I have had a little trouble with people impersonating me on Twitter. So, and I'm not the only one. There are a group of us that are having that same problem. So please be careful. And no, remember, I don't endorse, I don't recommend, and I don't shill anything ever. So if you see something out there from me, it's not me. All right, a little bit of information before we go into the fluff. And this was a very funny video. It's on TikTok, which is that very popular site that has very short clips. And this is arm wrestling for digital currency. So you can see, I used to arm wrestle when I was young with my brothers. And we would often arm wrestle. Let me turn this up. We would often arm wrestle to solve a problem. And so I can really relate to this, except these guys are wrestling in a way with their QR codes, so that when you lose, it's funny, isn't it? The QR code then comes out of the loser's wallet and sends to your wallet. It's pretty funny. All right, so let's jump to the fluff. In Japan, when we need to solve a problem, we Junkin. And in Japan, as this title says, Junkin, which is rock, paper, scissors, is everything. And I'm telling you, it is everything. It dates back to the 17th century here, but actually it is believed to have originally come from China. China has been doing a form of Junkin since 200 BC, and it keeps the peace. It really keeps the peace. So when an important decision has to be made collectively and nobody wants to stand out, everybody then Junkin. So when would you see someone Junkin? Oh gosh, a family might Junkin as to which movie they're going to watch. High school kids, if they're going to do a play, the teacher doesn't assign the role to the students. They all Junkin for that part. Office parties, even when you have any type of party where there are gift giveaways, including money, you will Junkin to win that gift. And even down to like who gets the last piece of pizza. Yeah, you Junkin. So Junkin is serious business here, and it does keep the peace. So it eliminates a clash of opinions, if you will. I want to show you how fast Junkin takes place. So here is an example. Watch how fast it is. It's very fast. Yeah. So this Aiko de show means tie. So you keep Aiko de show until there is a clear winner. And it's really ingrained in the culture. Even so, there is a big Junkin Tai Kai, which is a competition. I think they're in their 7th year, and it will draw thousands of people to watch. And this particular competition is between let me just see if I can get a little bit of, yeah, it goes, so they go really fast in this competition. This is between a very popular idol group called AKB48, but it brings in thousands and thousands of people. It's like a live rock concert, except it's a Junkin competition, and it's so popular. So yeah, this is when the winner was announced. She was considered the Junkin Queen. Yeah, really, really fun. And then last, I just couldn't believe it. I found, Japan loves its robots. Look at this. This is a Junkin robot. So you can see the robot will also go. Turn off the sound. The robot will go as fast as the hand goes. So it has a sensor. And yeah, this is how fast actually Junkin is played. It's played incredibly fast. And there is, of course, skill and technique to play this fast. Kids start at a very young age. Like, I think if you were to Junkin with a 3 or 4-year-old, they know how to Junkin. So the high school kids are incredibly fast. All right, everybody. That's it for you today. So sayonara for now. Please take care. Bye-bye.